All right, tonight is trivia night, and I'm happy to report that the last time I said that, we went to trivia and we placed second, which I'm very happy about. So I want to make this video short, but I want to ask you guys is, since I'm thinking about trivia, what do you know about Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Because this might be something fun to talk about. What do you know? Well, here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn tonight. All right, Goldilocks and the Three Bears was written in 1835 by Robert Southey. He was a British poet. And basically, it's just a retelling of a story he heard from his uncle. And a lot of stories like that back then, like Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Puss in Boots, so on and so forth, are just retellings of stories, and someone took the opportunity to write it down and publish it. And that's what Robert Southey did. But the original story was not Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I think it was just the Three Bears. And here's how it came out. It wasn't a young girl with golden hair that entered the bear's house. It was a gray-haired, old, homeless, hungry, angry witch that got in there, and the bears couldn't get rid of her when they came home. So they had to resort to trying to kill her to get rid of her. And so what they did was they tried to burn her by throwing her in the fire, and she wouldn't burn. Then they tried to drown her, but she wouldn't drown. And finally, they had to take her and impale her on the steeple of St. Paul's Church. That's pretty dark. How in the world does a story like that get changed to a cute little blonde-haired girl that seems to fall victim unwittingly to three bears who are, kind of innocent in and of themselves? Well, it happened over the course of 70 years. It took place, and they changed the story little by little so that it would be more palatable and sanitized for public consumption. That's why they did it. And so there you have it. And that's what happens with stories over time, is that a lot of these stories are that way. They're very dark. But you give me the real story. I think those are the most entertaining ones. But in real life, that's what we do. Sometimes there's a dark underbelly to the reality that we don't want to present to other people. We try to hide the darkness that's in us, and we want to present a more sanitized, palatable version to people, and maybe we should, because maybe people really wouldn't want to hear it. Another way this comes across is virtue signaling, right? People virtue signal all the time. You see it in ads, like Gillette. You see it in movements. You see it in government. You see it in all sorts of things, like Planned Parenthood, the Clinton Foundation, all these kind of things. You see it you see virtue signaling happening all the time, where they try to present themselves as good, moral people with good intentions, but really there's a dark underbelly. And if you knew the truth, you probably couldn't handle it. So that's why they have to sanitize it. But somebody always profits from it. And the people who sanitized the versions of these stories certainly did, because they're still read and known about almost 200 years later. Not quite 200 years later. And people don't even have to read it, they just know it. And so while we're talking about Gillette, did you know that the man who started Gillette, the whole Gillette razor thing, his name was King Gillette? And he was not originally a man who sold razors. Did you know that? He, in 1894, published a book called The Human Drift. And it was all about socialism. And he wanted to press his socialist order agenda. It was not very successful. So he tried to seek his fortune elsewhere, and that's when he started selling razors. Now you know two things. All right, that's all I got. I just wanted to make a short video, and I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up. and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.